There are people who light up every room they enter. Their smile arrives before their name does. They carry warmth like a gift, hand it out freely, ask for nothing in return. But if you watch closely, not at their lips, but at the space between their words, you might notice something else, a flicker, a stillness, the kind that doesn't speak, but waits. These are the ones who've learned that a smile is safer than silence, that brightness is a language everyone understands, and loneliness is one no one wants to translate. They are not pretending, they are protecting, and in that protection, they have become invisible. It begins quietly, this learned language of light, not in a single moment, but across 1,000 small ones. A child at the dinner table, watching tension rise between tired adults. They learn quickly. A joke diffuses, a giggle softens, a smile makes the hard things easier for everyone else. And so they smile. They become the easy one, the happy one, the one who doesn't add weight to an already heavy house. It feels good at first, this power to shift the air in a room, to be the person people are happy to see. It becomes identity before it becomes burden. The world reflects it back. Teachers reward it. Friends rely on it. Strangers warm to it. And the child grows into someone who knows how to make people feel good, but not how to ask for the same in return. The smile is no longer a choice. It is armor. It is entrance fee. It is the tax they pay to belong. What started as kindness becomes performance, and performance, no matter how convincing, is exhausting. But they have worn it so long, they have forgotten it is not their face. They believe, on some level, that without it, they would be too much, or worse, not enough. The smile becomes the only version of themselves they trust the world to love. Beneath the smile is a room they never let anyone enter. It is not loud or chaotic. It is quiet, painfully so. In that room, there's a version of them that no one asks about, the one who feels tired, the one who wants to cry for no reason and every reason, the one who wonders if anyone would stay if they stopped being easy to be around. This is where the loneliness lives, not in the absence of people, but in the presence of people who do not see them. They can be at a party surrounded by laughter and feel like they are watching from behind glass. They listen, they nod, they react, but they are not there. Not really, because no one has asked them to be. The conversations flow around them, and they facilitate, they smooth, they lighten. But no one stops. No one leans in and says, "What about you? What's really going on?" And if someone did, they are not sure they would know how to answer. The script has been running so long, they have lost the original language. The loneliness is not about being unloved. It is about being loved for something that is not quite real. They are adored for their sunshine, their ease, their lack of need, and so they keep giving it, even as it empties them. Even as they lie awake at night, chest tight, wondering why they feel so alone in a life full of people. The loneliest part is this: they have made themselves so comfortable to be around that no one thinks to ask if they are comfortable at all. There is science beneath this ache. Psychologists call it emotional labor, the act of managing your own feelings to shape the feelings of others. It is work, though it rarely looks like it. For some, it becomes a full-time role. Studies on social masking show that people who chronically suppress or alter their emotional expression report higher rates of anxiety, depression, and burnout. The brain is wired for authenticity. When there is misalignment between what we feel and what we show, it creates internal conflict. The nervous system registers the gap. Over time, this gap widens into a chasm. Attachment theory offers another lens. Those who grew up in environments where emotional needs were ignored, minimized, or punished often develop what is called an anxious or avoidant attachment style. They learn that connection is conditional, that love is something you earn by not being a burden, and so they become experts at reading the emotional temperature of a room, adjusting themselves in real time to keep the peace, to stay wanted. This hyper-attunement to others comes at a cost. They lose attunement to themselves. Neuroscience shows that the brain's default mode network, the part responsible for self-referential thought, can become underactive in people who spend most of their energy managing external perception. In other words, they stop checking in with themselves. The smile becomes automatic. The feelings beneath it become fog. And loneliness, in this context, is not just emotional. It is neurological. It is the slow disappearance of the self. The weight reveals itself in small ways first. A tightness in the chest that arrives for no reason. A flash of irritation when someone assumes they are fine, always fine. The feeling of being drained after a conversation that should have felt good. They start to notice the imbalance. How much they give, how little they receive. Not because people are cruel, but because they have trained everyone around them not to ask. They have made it seem effortless, and so no one sees the effort. There is a special kind of exhaustion that comes from being someone's light, from holding space for everyone else's feelings while quietly suffocating under your own. It is not sustainable, but they do not know how to stop. Because stopping feels like failing, like letting people down, like proving that they were only valuable when they were easy. The resentment builds slowly, like sediment. It does not announce itself. It lives in the small moments. When a friend vents for an hour and does not ask a single question back. When someone says, "You always know how to make me feel better," and it lands not as a compliment, but as a reminder of the role they cannot escape. They want to scream, "What about me?" But they do not, because they have spent so long convincing everyone they do not need anything. And now they are trapped in the story they wrote. The loneliest part is not being unseen. It is being seen only as the person who makes things easier, never as the person who might need things to be made easier for them. It does not break all at once. There is no cinematic collapse, just a quiet moment. Maybe they are alone at night, scrolling, smiling at messages, reacting to posts, and suddenly they realize they have been performing all day. Even in solitude, the smile was still on. They try to let it drop, and it feels strange, unfamiliar, like a muscle they have not used. They sit with it, the blankness, the weight, and for the first time in a long time, they let themselves feel what is actually there. It is not pretty. It is not easy. It is lonely. It is tired. It is angry. It is sad. And it is real. The realization comes not as relief, but as grief. Grief for all the years they spent hiding, for all the relationships built on a version of themselves that was only half true, for the love they received that never quite reached them because they never let it pass the smile. They do not know who they are without it, and that is terrifying. But it is also the crack that lets the light in. Not the light they have been giving, the light they have been denying themselves, the truth they have been too afraid to speak. Healing does not look like a revelation. It looks like a Tuesday afternoon when they say, "I'm not doing great," and do not follow it with a joke. It looks like letting a conversation sit in silence instead of rushing to fill it. It looks like saying no without an explanation, without softening it, without making it easier for the other person to accept. It is small. It is clumsy. It feels selfish at first because they have spent so long believing that their needs are too much. But slowly, something shifts. They start to notice who stays, who leans in, who asks the second question. And they start to notice who does not, who only calls when they need something, who feels uncomfortable with anything less than their brightness. It hurts to see, but it is clarifying. They begin to practice authenticity like a language they once knew but forgot. They let the smile come when it is real. They let it go when it is not. They stop performing ease and start requesting it. I need support. I am struggling. I cannot hold this right now. The words feel foreign, but each time they say them, they reclaim a piece of themselves. They learn that being loved for who they are is different than being loved for what they do. And the difference is everything. There is a kind of courage that does not announce itself. It does not look like confidence or certainty. It looks like someone sitting in their own discomfort and not smiling it away. It looks like letting people see you when you are not convenient, when you are not light, when you are human. The people who smile too often are not weak. They are some of the strongest people you will meet. Because they have carried the weight of other people's comfort for so long, they have forgotten what it feels like to be held. But they are learning that they do not have to earn love, that they do not have to be easy to be worthy, that the truest version of connection is not built on performance, but on presence. The smile may return, and when it does, it will mean something different. It will not be a mask. It will not be a defense. It will be a choice, a reflection of joy that is real, not required. And in the moments when it is gone, they will not rush to put it back. They will let themselves be seen in the quiet, in the heaviness, in the truth, because they have learned that loneliness is not cured by being around people. It is cured by being yourself around people. And that begins the moment you stop pretending you are fine, the moment you let the smile fall and discover that you are still worth holding.